Experience what your customer experiences with user testing. Whether you're launching a new product, prototype, or marketing campaign, you'll get real-time video feedback. The user testing human insight platform lets you understand it all from your customer's perspective. Plus, it allows you to target your exact audience, ask questions, or request to perform tasks, and get a window into their world. The result? You feel what your customer feels, so you can build the best experience imaginable. For a free trial, visit usertesting.com/adage. Hi, I'm Adrienne Pasquarelli, Senior Reporter at AdAge, and welcome to another edition of the Marketer's Brief Podcast, our weekly discussion about marketing news and trends that have the industry buzzing. The supply chain crisis has been hitting retailers hard in recent months, delaying product deliveries and causing major calendar shifts. Many consumers, worried about getting gifts in time for the holidays, have turned to resale sites for their shopping, and such companies are getting a boost in sales. Today, we'll be talking with Charis Marquez, Vice President of Fashion at eBay. She'll discuss what the online marketplace is seeing in terms of consumer behavior amid supply issues, and what the company has in store for the holiday shopping season. Now, here's my conversation with Charis. Hi, Charis. Thanks so much for joining us.
So happy to be here. So thanks for having me.
So you're relatively new to eBay. When did you join the company and where were you before?
Yeah, so I joined the company in January, right around the beginning of the year. And for that, I was at various retailers, but most recently I was at Levi's, the jean brand.
And what does your job as head of fashion entail? Are you working with both buyers and sellers?
Yes, we work with both buyers and sellers to create a great experience on both sides. eBay is really there to create a platform for buyers and sellers. So we're there to focus on making sure that we create the best fashion experience for both the buyer in terms of what they're looking for and making sure they find what they're looking for, and from a seller perspective so that we can connect both buyers and sellers.
And are you involved in the marketing for each side?
Yes, we are involved in the marketing for each side. So really looking at what's needed in that specific category. Fashion is a really unique space. It has a great community. So we look at all aspects that the buyer and seller may need, from marketing to communications to functionality and capabilities that are needed, all things to just create a great experience all around.
And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it feels like one of the biggest trends in retail right now, which is the supply chain crisis and how that's been something that's so difficult for traditional retailers to manage, especially now as we're getting into the thick of holiday. It's interestingly become such a mainstream part of conversation now that everyday consumers are even familiar with things like shipping containers and other delivery methods. What is eBay seeing when it comes to the inventory that you guys are getting from your sellers?
Well, what we're seeing, and we've always seen this, is that our sellers are great at responding to these types of things. Our sellers are always trying to keep pulse on the inventory that people are looking for. And because they are small, in many cases, scrappy sellers, they can go and find that inventory. And they're business people. So they go out and they find what's needed, and they're able to move so much more quickly than some large corporations are.
So, what are you seeing in terms of business? There's been some talk that the supply problems can be actually beneficial for resale platforms like an eBay. Are you guys seeing an uptick in traffic and sales at all?
Yeah, what we are seeing is that people are definitely having more of an openness to pre-owned merchandise. So not just resale, but even pre-owned. So we're seeing a lot, especially if I take sneakers as an example, we're seeing the growth 15% higher for pre-owned sneakers than even on new sneakers. So we just continually see that people are a lot more open when they know that they want to find something unique and different. They are coming to eBay because we're the resale platform.
And why is that pre-owned number so high? Just because those are really special items, or why?
Yeah. I mean, I think there are two things. One is that, yes, We cater to enthusiasts so you can find really, really special items, but also I think there's a shift and an openness to just pre-owned items overall, even the things that are less special. Um, the pandemic has just caused so us to really shift. And when I say us, I mean all consumers, the way we think about everything we do, including buying. So it's been kind of a perfect storm when you think about this scarcity model and the fact that people know they can't necessarily find things in the same way that they were able to, coupled with the fact that when we think about pre-owned, it's, well, great. I'm also kind of doing something good for the environment, and I'm able to find something really unique and different.
Right, the pre-owned is tapping into that sustainability feature that so many people are looking towards as they think about buying now.
Definitely.
Well, are you integrating availability into your marketing and messaging at all? Like, where does the supply chain issues that you're not experiencing, that your sellers aren't experiencing, how does that come into play with eBay's marketing and messaging, if at all?
Well, I mean, I think naturally people start to think of us that way. We do some messaging around it, but what we really try to focus on is who we are as a platform, and that is really around having those unique and cool items. So we've focused more on that to really jog that memory that, oh, yeah, eBay is a place that I can go for gifts and holiday, not just for the thing I happen to need.
So are you putting any messaging out there, just kind of loosely talking about delivery and getting things on time and, typical times for things to arrive, anything like that? Dependability?
What we're really putting out there is that we're having what people are looking for, even though there is scarcity out there. We're not necessarily saying scarcity, but we are putting messaging that eBay is going to have what you need.
That'll do it. Let's take a quick pause for this message from our sponsor. Experience what your customer experiences with user testing. Whether you're launching a new product, prototype, or marketing campaign, you'll get real-time video feedback. The user testing human insight platform lets you understand it all from your customer's perspective. Plus, it allows you to target your exact audience, ask questions, or request to perform tasks, and get a window into their world. The result? You feel what your customer feels, so you can build the best experience imaginable. For a free trial, visit usertesting.com/adage. Welcome back. So, as we look ahead with Thanksgiving around the corner, obviously it's the holiday shopping season. What is eBay doing for holiday this year?
Yeah, we have a lot of really fun things that are happening for holidays. So we just actually launched our sleigh drop, which is around our sneakers category, and we'll have some of the coolest collections from Lala Anthony, DJ Ski, and Jacques Slade. And that'll have their collections will be launching at different points throughout the holiday season, and just really showing people's personal collections and bringing out some really cool sneakers. So we have that. And then we also are going to have a couple of events that are coming, these pop-up shops. So we're going to do one in Detroit, really focusing on sneakers, which is coming very soon after this podcast airs. We're going to be doing some luxury items in Miami, and then a pop-up for our collectibles business in Houston. So a lot of different things, kind of happening throughout the holiday season.
So, are you doing any overarching messaging around holiday, any video or TV, kind of anthem type work?
No, we won't be doing any video or TV. We'll just be continuing to put the messaging out through social media and our other more traditional channels.
What about social? I mean, so many retailers are turning to that as such a focus right now, as that's where so many consumers are spending their time. Is eBay doing anything on TikTok or anything different with Snapchat or things like that?
So throughout those marketing events that I was telling you about before, we will definitely support those via social and also have these influencers. So Lala Anthony, DJ Ski, Jacques Slade, I mean, they're kind of more than influencers. They will also be putting things out on their social media.
And is eBay doing anything differently this year when it comes to holiday versus previous years?
Well, definitely these pop-up events that we're doing, those are unique, and having these events similar to this sleigh drop that we're doing in sneakers and focusing on a category that you don't necessarily always think about in holidays. So those are different than what we've done before, and really just doing things that combine the physical and the digital as well is something, kind of more unique that we've had this holiday.
What about the timing of things? We've heard of a lot of holiday marketing happening earlier because people are shopping earlier, and some of that can be traced back to the supply chain issues. How does the timing of the marketing lineup for the holidays this year compare with what you've done previously?
We have already started a lot of our holiday, messaging and marketing again, just to make sure that eBay's top of mind. Because just as we started with, this whole episode, people know that they do need to have more of a sense of urgency around getting things. So we want to make sure that we're top of mind, that we have things now, but that we'll have them later. I mean, the beauty of kind of the eBay assortment is it's constantly changing. You can't necessarily expect what will be on eBay if you go one week to the next. It's going to be totally different. So, from a timing perspective, we want to be top of mind now, but we also want people to come back and check in a few weeks or even in a month.
And so I guess you'll keep those checks running by continually messaging on your social channels and staying flexible that way.
Definitely, definitely.
What are you seeing as the top items for fashion this holiday season? I mean, we talked a bit about sneakers. What else are the other products that you're hitting when it comes to marketing?
Yeah, we're definitely hitting in our luxury business. So we've launched our authenticity guarantee this year for handbags, and last year we launched it in luxury watches. And we are seeing that people are definitely resonating with these luxury items. People have been cooped up; they're ready to dress up a bit more and put some new and unique things on. So we've focused in those spaces where we have our authenticity guarantee because it just helps for the trust for both on the buyer side as well as the seller side. So we've focused on that, but we've seen also a lot of response, to that because I think people are just, as I said before, just ready to kind of get up and out and show off a little bit.
Any other items besides handbags and sneakers that you think people are gravitating toward?
Well, from an apparel perspective, we saw for a long time during the pandemic, it was things with elastic waistband pants and, more athleisure. And while that's still important, we're definitely seeing some uptick in people getting dressed up to go out, people wearing clothes to go out, but then people also wearing clothes to go back to work. So within apparel, we're just seeing more glam kind of come back.
I guess it's almost holiday party season too, so there'll be dress up occasions for those that are making a return this year.
Definitely.
Well, what about generational differences when it comes to shopping? Are you marketing differently to Gen Z and millennials? I'm curious what you're noticing about what that group wants and how you're handling that from a marketing perspective versus the older generations.
Yeah, well, social media is critical for, call it the younger generations, Gen Z and millennials. So that is really critical to our overall strategy when we think about Gen Z and millennials is how we use social and making sure that we are layering in the right messages for social. Gen Z, is this generation that really values resale, not just because it's cheap. Sure, they need a lower price because they don't have a ton of money, but they also just want to buy it because it's the right thing to do. To them, buying brand new clothing seems kind of silly. So we make sure that we try to incorporate those messages into what we're going to do and making people feel like they also have that access. So when you think about pre-owned, because you can get things at a lower price point, it provides that access that everyone can be in the game. So when we're thinking about millennials and Gen Z, we think about making sure they feel like that they can have that access. And we also want to make sure that they just feel like they are doing the right thing by buying it. It's really natural for them. We just like to really highlight that message.
Well, resale, as you said, is such a hot area right now. So many consumers are turning to pre-owned. Urban Outfitters just launched their own resale business. There's ThreadUp, Poshmark, so many newcomers, though eBay has been around for so much longer. How are you handling the competition, all of these newcomers to the space?
It's interesting. The space is huge, especially when you think about the resale marketplace. You have everyone's closets, right? Of every generation, because things that some of the, call it Gen Xers and boomers have, Gen Z and millennials want. So when we think about, just growing our business and the competition, we don't have to think as much about competition because there's just really so much business out there. And what's great about eBay is with being, the original there, we have the depth and breadth. So when we think about people coming to us, you're not going to find more of a selection than eBay. So we consider ourselves, being the OG, which obviously being the OG has pluses and minuses, but we see it as really being a positive because we have that breadth and depth that a lot of those platforms just don't have.
Well, we're almost out of time, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what's ahead for eBay in 2022. I'm wondering what you plan to focus on. Are there any new operations that you plan to roll out? Any new tools for sellers or buyers? Any new marketing areas that you plan to focus on? What's on your agenda?
Great. Yeah, we are going to continue to focus on pre-owned, and really focus on it in a big way. eBay does have new products as well as used, but really have a heavy focus on pre-owned. Continue to have the product and find the product that, our buyers are looking for and supporting our sellers. And then, really leading through technology. So within sneakers, we just piloted a 3D technology. We used a 1985 pair of sneakers that was made for Michael Jordan. And so we have that on the one shoe right now, but thinking about, how do we expand those types of technologies and just really try to make the consumer experience better. That's really where we're focused and, become top of mind for resale since it's so important from a messaging perspective.
Tell me more about this 3D shoe from 1985. That's something that someone can see online, or how is that working?
Yeah, you can go online right now. It's on ebay.com right now, and you can see an entire experience, around the shoe. But what's really cool is the shoe has been taken multiple angles, and so you can see the top, the bottom, and that's really important when you think about resale and pre-owned, because when you're buying something, you really want to understand those details. You can't really use a typical photo that someone has styled and everything when you're thinking about a resale item. So we're pretty excited about this capability. We just launched it, so we're still learning a lot about it, but to be able to see the detail, the scuffs, every little part and turn over the shoe, it's good and in some ways better even than sometimes you being in person.
Yeah, that's huge. That's almost a game changing.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. It looks great and we think it's going to be really powerful in the future.
Well, I can't wait to see. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
That was Charis Marquez, Vice President of Fashion at eBay, and I'm Adrienne Pasquarelli, Senior Reporter at Ad Age. We invite you to subscribe to the Marketer's Brief podcast on your favorite player. We promise to keep it brief or at least short enough for your morning coffee. Thanks for tuning in.